Something feels heavy in Charlotte right now. We have been chasing that feeling, that identity, ever since the Cam Newton era ended in 2020. Every year we hope the cycle finally breaks, but the whispers are getting louder again. Are we really heading back to the bottom? Real fans, the faithful who bleed blue and black, know the stakes for this franchise. We are at a crossroads that could define our Super Bowl window for years. If you believe in this team, hit like and subscribe. We need to stick together. Something big is definitely changing behind the scenes. Garrett Pottle at CBS Sports just dropped a ranking that puts our quarterback room as the 9th worst in the entire league. It feels like a punch to the gut because we have been through so much turnover recently. Since 2020, we have been on every worst of list imaginable. But here is the thing. We finally thought we were seeing the light. Bryce Young just finished 2025 with career highs. He hit over 63% completion. He threw 23 touchdowns. To most of us watching every snap, that looked like progress. It looked like a young man finally finding his feet in a system that actually supports him. But the national media sees it differently. They look at those 188 yards per game, and they see a cap ceiling. They see a room that is still struggling to find its elite identity. And honestly, this creates a massive emotional weight for the locker room. We improved the backup situation, yet we are still grouped with teams like the Vikings or the Saints. Now this is where it gets interesting. Even though we are not the absolute bottom anymore, being in that mediocre tier might be even more dangerous. It means we are stuck in no man's land. The Panthers have come such a long way from the bleakness of 2023. We remember how irrevocably awful things felt halfway through 2024. The improvement is real, but is it enough to satisfy the pressure of being a number 1 overall pick? Bryce is our guy, but the narrative surrounding him is shifting into something more complicated. We are big believers in his talent, but we have to be honest. He has not reached that take over the game level consistently yet. When the offense stalls, can he be the one to carry us? That is the question haunting the front office and the coaching staff right now. It is about more than just stats. It is about the soul of this offense. If the national consensus is that we are still bottom tier at the most important position, what does that say about our trajectory? We are building a roster to protect him, but at some point, the quarterback has to protect the lead. The honeymoon phase of the rebuild is officially over for everyone in the building as we enter this crucial new chapter now. When we look deeper at this room, the concern starts to move past Bryce and onto the safety net, or lack thereof. Behind our starter, things look incredibly thin, and honestly a bit scary for a team trying to compete. We brought in Kenny Pickett, a former first-round pick who basically became a symbol of frustration in his previous stop. While the coaches might think they can game plan him into some short-term success if Bryce goes down, let us be real. He is a reclamation project at best. If we have to rely on Pickett for a 4-game stretch, does anyone truly feel confident that our season stays alive? This is where the emotional tension really spikes for the fans. We are one hit away from a massive regression. Then you have Haynes King, who might make the roster as an undrafted free agent. He is a supreme athlete, no doubt about it. We have seen the highlights of him running all over the field in college. But can he throw? The consensus is that his arm talent just does not at the NFL level yet. He is more of a gadget player than a true backup quarterback. And then there is Will Grier, who feels like a complete non-factor at this point. It is almost painful to mention him because we know he likely will not even see the final roster. This creates a situation where Bryce Young is on an island. He is carrying the weight of the entire franchise on his shoulders without a legitimate veteran presence to push him or a high-end backup to save us from disaster. This is about the future of the franchise. If the ceiling is capped, like the critics say, are we just spinning our wheels? The roster is being built so we do not have to rely on the quarterback to do everything. But the NFL is a quarterback-driven league. You cannot escape that reality. The risk here is that we are settling for good enough while the rest of the NFC South is making big swings. We are playing a dangerous game of balance. We want to believe Bryce is the long-term answer, but the lack of a plan B makes every single hit he takes feel like a potential season-ending catastrophe for the entire organization today. But this is where things change. We have to look at what this really means for the next 12 months. The national media probably does not watch every Panthers game. They do not see the throwaway passes to avoid sacks or the way Bryce navigates a collapsing pocket. They look at the box score and see average numbers. But that perception creates its own reality in the NFL. It affects how free agents see us. It affects how the league views our potential. The biggest question right now is whether the Panthers front office agrees with this 9th worst assessment. Because if they do, we might see some desperate moves soon. This could become something much bigger than just a ranking on a website. It could be the catalyst for a major roster shakeup. We are trying to build an identity that does not force Bryce to be Superman. But is that even possible in today's game? If the advanced metrics like PFF are not giving him the credit we think he deserves, there is a disconnect somewhere. Either we are being too biased as fans, or the analysts are missing the intangible growth. The pressure is mounting because we cannot stay in this improving but mediocre stage forever. Every year we are not a top 10 QB room is a year we are not realistically chasing a deep playoff run. The emotional escalation here is real. We want Bryce to be the hero, but we are being told he is just a game manager with a limited ceiling. That hurts to hear. It creates a future tension where every mistake Bryce makes is magnified by 10. If he has a bad game, the he is a bust crowd comes out in full force. If he has a great game, people say it is just a fluke against a bad defense. We are trapped in a narrative loop that only winning can break. But can we win at a high level with the current room? That is the cliffhanger we are all living through. The Super Bowl window for this young core feels like it is waiting for the quarterback play to catch up, and that wait is becoming agonizing for a fan base that has already suffered enough. Every decision matters. I am going to be honest with you all, this actually worries me more than I want to admit. I really like Bryce Young. I think he has the poise, the IQ, and the work ethic to be the face of this team for a decade. In fact, I firmly believe he should be extended. When you look at the progress from 2023 to 2025, the trajectory is pointing up. But I cannot kid myself anymore. I cannot sit here and tell you he is secretly an elite, top-tier quarterback right now. He is good, but he is not great. Not yet. And that not yet is a very scary place to be in the NFL. I think fans should pay attention to how the coaching staff handles the backup situation in the coming weeks. The fact that we are relying on Kenny Pickett as the primary backup makes my stomach turn a little bit. We saw what happened in Pittsburgh. We saw the lack of confidence. If we are building a culture of winning, should we not have more competition in that room? This could be incredible if Bryce takes that third-year jump we always talk about, or this could become a problem that sets us back another 3 years. I want to be optimistic. I want to see the vision of a balanced team where the run game and defense carry the load. But I also know that when it is third and long in the fourth quarter of a playoff game, you need a guy who can make a play out of nothing. Bryce has shown flashes of that, but the consistency is not there yet. We have to be honest about who he is at this point in his career. He is a developing starter who needs everything around him to be perfect to succeed at a high level. That is a vulnerable position for a franchise to be in. I am torn between the love for our guy and the objective reality of the numbers. It feels like we are holding our breath every time the ball is snapped. We want him to prove every single one of those CBS analysts wrong. We want him to show us he is the real deal. The story is far from over. Being ranked as the 9th worst quarterback room is a wake-up call for all of us. It reminds us that while we have made progress since the dark days of 2023, we are not where we need to be. The future of the Carolina Panthers is tied directly to the arm and the mind of Bryce Young. Whether he can shatter that ceiling or if he remains a good but not great option will decide the fate of this entire era of Panthers football. The uncertainty is thick right now. We are heading into a season where every single pass will be scrutinized and every backup rep will be watched with nervous eyes. Something bigger is still coming for this team. Whether it is a breakout year for Bryce or a realization that we need a different path, we are going to be here for every second of it. We are the real fans, the ones who do not leave when things get tough. But I want to hear from you. Do you think this ranking is unfair? Is Bryce Young being held to a standard that no one could meet? Or is it time to worry about the lack of depth behind him? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let us talk about the future of our team. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to stay tuned into everything happening with the Panthers. Keep pounding, because the journey is just getting started.